I
said
couldn't,
I
yo, I
didn't know if
couldn't
you
tell.
were. I didn't know if
Yeah, I
you
couldn't,
would remember me or not
couldn't
from when you
tell
used to
from the
walk through the
profile.
block.
Yeah, I couldn't tell from the profile flick. Yeah, now I see your face.
How you been, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. You know, maintaining. You know what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
you on that. I feel you on that, man. You know, of course, I've been doing a lot of research, and first thing I want to do is welcome to the DJ Information Group. We got quite a few DJs on here. We got
Oh,
DJ Genius, DJ Boogie, DJ Danny T, DJ Joe Storm, DJ Showtime, DJ Rod's Flash, Silent Professor, DJ Pinky, DJ Skip, and DJ Swerve
that's
hits
what's
out
up.
of New York. And we at DMV and North Carolina, DC, everywhere,
That's what's up.
Maryland,
That's what's up.
Baltimore, we in here.
That's what's up, brother. That's what's
Mississippi.
up.
I hope I got everybody. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
I hope.
And of
After
course,
this,
Philly.
And Philly, of course. Philly, for sure.
yeah,
I couldn't forget
yeah,
Philly. That's my main man over there.
they still got a city in Philly.
Yeah, we still there. They just lose a little bit. It's all right. We recovered.
All right, that's what's up.
City in Philly.
Hey, no joke, man. They looted and tore the fucking city up.
Yeah, man, it's
Yeah, they
crazy.
really did, man. They went in hard. They went in pretty hard.
So, you know, it was great to really connect with you again, man. I thought about you when I was sitting there, and you know, I followed you from way back, and then when you released this last album, man, and one thing you've been consistent with that I've noticed is that you always represent the home, you know. So I was like, I got to hit you up, man, and see if you would
That's
come
what's
on here,
up.
because when you were talking, every time I hear you talk about East New York, I'll be like, yeah, East New
Yeah,
York.
I mean, you know, I tell people this all the time. The older I get, the more East New York I get.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, because what happens is you grow up someplace, right? And that's cool. You know, I did a lot of moving around. I mean, I'm happy about it because I got to see the world. You know, I live in Houston now, but I did a little, like when I was doing the music business stuff. Of course, I did a little stint in LA. Then I did a little stint in Seattle a little later on. You know, messing around not only with music but with some technology too. And then I lived in Atlanta for a while. Like I did the Atlanta thing like everybody else. And I stayed in Atlanta for about 8 years. And I don't hate it. But then I came to Houston about 3 years ago. And for the first year, it was brutal on us because we really miss Atlanta. But I think I'm going to stay, man.
I hear that.
I think I'm going to stay. What happens is, you know, as you travel, you have to hold on and grab on to those life lessons. And, you know, East New York taught me well. So I realized when I become East New York in Houston, I flow better.
Yeah, no doubt. We got a couple DJs from H-Town that are part of the group too.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah,
I like Houston, man. It's hot, but I love it, man.
Yeah, I tell you, man. You know, I know that you know, when it comes to, you know, your body of work, you know, a lot of people may not know. You know, of course, you were with Stetsasonic. And
Yes,
you guys went through, I think you did, what you did, about 6 out total of what, about?
No, we did three albums.
Three
we
albums.
did 3 albums, but then Africa, which ended up on the 3rd album on a remix, Africa was a separate project when we did it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was its own entity. It's just that Norman Cook had did a remix. And so by the time we did the 3rd album, we just went and tacked the Norman Cook remix on it. But we had already did Africa in '86. And that technically, Africa is Stetsasonics' first video. That's the first video we ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the things that I told, I was talking to some brothers about, and I said, one thing I loved about Stetsasonic is that you guys sampled, you know, the old school joints, but when you guys sampled those joints and came out with your own, your records became kind of like a break beat that we could scratch. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, the thing is this, right? And I say this a lot. It's just an evaluation, right? So all Stet was like there's no big mystery to the hip hop band thing, right? There's no big you know. The only reason we was a hip hop band or our hip hop band, because we got a new Stet record that's coming out. That's crazy. Once I get it mixed, I'll get it to y'all. But the only reason we was a hip hop band is because we wanted to bring what we was doing in the studio. Well, it's two things, right? So we wanted to bring in the park what we were doing in the park into the studio. So that's kind of sort of about what you're saying, because, you know, it was all about just being authentic to, you know, the things that we had learned how to do in the park.
Right.
So we brought those things from the park into the studio. And then the only real reason we was a band is because once now we in the studio and we making all this stuff, all the equipment was ours. You know, we was one of the few people that, and you know, in that day and time,
right.
actually equipment, I'm, you know, meaning drum machines and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Equipment was ours. And then when we knew we was gonna perform, it was like, yo, how are we gonna, you know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, there was no Serato, wasn't no digital. So the only way to do it was to get wax printed, and we wasn't rich enough, right? Because the only people that was actually printing wax was Run DMC was printing wax. Run DMC was printing wax. They had a place called Europa Disc, and they used to send them out, and they used to print wax for Jam Master Jay, God bless the dead, scratch. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But other than that, like, you know, we ain't had money to make wax, and we didn't want to make our like the dub plates, the acetones, because, you know, after 2 or 3 plays of the acetone, it sounded like, you know what I'm saying? So we couldn't do that. So we said, yo, we just gonna take all the equipment on stage. And that's how we became a band, because we just brought everything up on stage.
Yeah, that, you know, it just really, you could just feel the energy and the real hip hop mode that was in all of that music. But one of the other things, I'll get to your album. You released the album last year, the one that was From My Hood to You. Was that last year?
Yeah, From My Hood to You. Yeah, I guess, yeah. From My Hood to You was last year. Yeah, it was last year.
Before I get to that, you know, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, you know, for you to share with the group is the fact that not only were you dealing, you know, you had the group, but once you guys, you know, Stetsasonic, you moved away from that, but you guys are, you know, still doing music or whatever, but you also stepped into that producer scene where, you know, you helped like Mary J. Blige, you know, helped her get started. Can you tell us something about that? And then also how you also tapped into the alternative music market as well?
Well, one of the things for me, right? So again, like nothing is really like mysterious. It's all real organic kind of stuff. So one of the things that happened to me that's, you know, you could say lucky. I like to say it was a blessing, but it's kind of sort of along the same lines. One of the things that was fortunate for me was most of the things that I was doing at that time, everything was at the beginning of what it is. So, you know, you think about Mary, right? This is the beginning of R&B actually respecting us. Because in the very beginning, they looked at us and said, hang on. In the very beginning, they looked at us and they said, you know, you guys are not music. You guys are not gonna last. This is whack. This is a fad, whatever. And believe it or not, the people that we was having the most the most animosity, you know, the most beef with was R&B. You know? So and so so Mary was a very natural Mary was a very natural, organic thing because, you know, now, you know, Puff was a young dude, and now it's like, you know, we got this music, hip hop is kind of blowing, you know what I'm saying? What can we do, and how can we make some of this stuff mix and match? Like, how can we make some of this stuff make sense? So Mary was a young girl. You know, she was really found by Kurt Burrell, I mean Kurt Woodley, but you know, they got her over to Uptown, they got her over to Andre, and although Andre, God bless the dead, was, you know, he was good at what he did, you know, Puff is always gonna be that ultimate ear. He was that dude because he danced. and you know, them dancers is something else because they kind of know what can make you move because they dance all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, Puff was like, "Yo, let's take in the studio. Let's see what it's hitting for." You know, it took a little bit because Mary, you know, I say it to this day. I love Mary, but Mary can't sing. Not like I've worked with. You know, I don't work with Jeffrey Osborne. You know, I don't work with like Vesta. I don't work with like some real singers. So in that category, Mary can't really sing, but there was some elements on the production side that we could do. You know what I'm saying? We could take like we could triple some of the backgrounds and all of that kind of stuff. And you know, and just take what I loved about what Puffy did when we did What's the 411 was he made the best thing ideologically. I kind of miss it because he made classic songs and the hip hop to that stuff. When you know when you start saying you know Mary's the queen of hip hop, so the hip hop to that stuff was just the beats. The songs was real songs. You remind me of a love that I once knew. You know what I'm saying? You know, Love No Limit. All those songs were songs that could be pretty ballads or whatever. It's just hip hop underneath them. I miss that because now it's the singers is trying to sound like rappers and all of that, tattoos and all of that. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
always tell people, if you know, if your man Usher or Chris Brown was around on our day, we say, yo, man, go over there and sing that shit, man. Don't come over here in this section, man. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause we always made, you know, we was always. That's one of the things that bother me about nowadays. Like everybody has, and you guys know this as DJs. I mean, y'all. Everybody has like adopted what we are. And the only other time that used to happen is when y'all used to do it. Like y'all would take a acapella and put it with something and make it match. And that made it special.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that made it special because oh man, I never heard that with that. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays they trying to make records like that. It's like, you know, I always say Puffy is Ron G. You know, if it wasn't for Capri and Ron G, Puff wouldn't have a career. And that don't mean Puff doesn't have an ear, because he does have an ear. But basically, he made all his records sound like Ron G mixtapes. So that's all we was doing, man. It's really making Ron G mixtape records.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
So also on the alternative side, you know, you did some work with like B-52s and Red Hot Chili Peppers and all of them as well, huh?
Yeah, again, very organic. Growing up, even when I was rapping, I always liked the alternative. I used to love the B-52s. I used to love that song Rock Lobster and that whole album. Chili Peppers, I had the first record. There's a record on there called Mommy Daddy that I actually, you know, I used to sample it a lot because it's a hot beat and all of that. Not sample, but I used to play it, you know, I'm not no DJ like y'all, but you know what I'm saying? I play a little bit. So, you know, just you know, back spinning back and forth and all of that. And so what happened was I was managed by Rush. We was managed by Rush as Stetsasonic.
Mm-hmm.
But Cortez, who is now doing movies, said, yo, I got an idea. She went to Russell and said, hey, I got an idea. Let me take the producers of all the groups and form something. So she created this thing called Rush Producers Management.
Mm-hmm.
So she took me, Prince Paul, and DBC out of Stetsasonic. She took Jam Master Jay out of Run DMC. She took the Bomb Squad that was making all the Public Enemy records and a few others, like all the groups or artists that were signed to Rush. She pulled the producers out and she was getting separate work for those producers.
Mm-hmm.
In the very beginning, I always liked alternative. A lot of those, some of those alternative, like I think Sonic Youth was one of them, was passed on to me because Hank and them just didn't want to do it.
Gotcha.
They wanted the Bomb Squad, and they was just like Hank and them just didn't want to do it. And then from then on, what I would do is if some alternative came across, I would say, Lisa, whatever alternative come across, just give it to me because I understand their world. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know, like when I met the Chili Peppers and I was talking to them, I know them. Like I know their music. I play it like I play everything else. So I always liked that music. And then they were, again, you know, very organically, everybody liked our sound. They liked what we were doing with, you know, with drums, like the breaks and all of those kind of things. So we were able to put some of that stuff together. And I was fortunate enough to work on some of the records that were hits. Like with the Chili Peppers, I worked on Higher Ground. With the B-52s, I worked on Love Shack. So I was able to, with Sonic Youth, I worked on Sweet Things. So I was able to I actually worked on what I got for Sublime as well. So, you know, I was able to work with some of the larger groups, not only with some of the larger groups, but I was also able to work with some of the bigger records. So that was fortunate.
Yeah, that's tight. And, you know, with Sublime, you know what came out of that, Gwen Stefani. So that was,
yeah, absolutely.
That's big. That's big right there for real. You know, I know you said you don't have much time, but I definitely want to make sure if it's okay to get some of the DJs to ask the question.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do want to make a comment about your album, your latest album, man. You did something on that album that you just don't see today, and that is you can literally put that album in and play it from front to back. You know.
Thank you, my brother.
And you don't see that, you know. And I reviewed that album like 3-4 times, just sitting back listening to it, and I was like, wow, you could literally play that album from front to back and just enjoy it. And so I was like, I got to give you a big up and a salute to that.
That's my young boys, man. That's my young boys, man. You know what I mean? Because I could make 5 records a day. You know what I mean? Like I rap all the time. I'm writing all the time. I tell people all the time, I hold at least 150, 160 beats on my phone that I'll play them for you. You'd be like, yo, that's fire. I might not use them in the next year or two, but at least I know I got something, you know what I'm saying? Because I mess around with these producers and all of that. So I'm there, you know what I mean? But my young boys keep me in check. Because they yes OG and no OG all the time.
I hear that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, OG, I know you like it, but that shit sound old, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could keep that to play in the crib, you know what I mean? So even like on the present album that I'm getting ready to drop a record this year. We just haven't decided a date because I'm working on something new that's dropping next week, which is this song called Bullets with Chuck D and Speech of Arrested Development. We're actually putting together a group. We're a group now called Night Train. So we're working on an album now, and we're doing this record called Bullets, and it's reflective of some of the things that's going on now. So, you know, I'm trying to kind of figure out what that means for my next album, which is called Gun Antidote. But it's the same way. Like, I had 23 songs. The young boys was like, yo, you got to cut that down. I was mad at them. You know, I was, but I took some time because the album was called something else. Like, I had this whole nother idea for the album. I had these 23 songs. I was probably getting ready to add a 24th. And they was like, that's too many records. And I was like, come on, man. Because I still listen to all the young stuff. I was like, Key Glock just dropped the joint. Or it was Dolph. I think it was Dolph because Glock joint ain't come out yet. Dolph just dropped the joint. It was like 23. And they was like, yeah, but Griselda and them just did a joint. And it's like 9. And I'm like, But then I thought about it and they was right like they usually are. Mm-hmm. And so I cut it back down. And then I said, this ain't even really the first team album no more. This is really the Go to Antidote album. And I pulled it down, figured it out. Work with them on the sequencing and stuff like that. So yeah, I try to tell my peers the same thing. Like, everybody got young people around them, whether it's a nephew or a son or whatever. Just use them people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good at what I do, but I started in the 80s. So there's no guarantee that I know what's gonna sound the best.
Right.
And that's why, and there's no the whole A&R thing like that we used to do back in the day is gone. You know what I'm saying? So I use the young. So that's my, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate the shout out, man. But, that's my young boys, man. They keep me in check.
Well, I tell you what, you're doing a good job. Them reciprocating that with them, because it really had that old school hip hop vibe to it for most part, you know. So
Right.
that was good right there, because even though they're working on it, you got your influence in there to show them, and which keeps them attached to the history of the culture.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
I try to
So
definitely do that. I try
yeah,
to definitely do that.
yeah. So that's definitely a plus. And I want to mention this one thing, and then what we'll do is we'll get, you know, the DJ to ask you a couple questions. Serengeti, when you in there was a part that you said hip hop will never die because you're one of the reasons why. You know,
Right.
I thought that was very, very profound, because that's one of the things that a lot of us old heads, like, you know, me being in the game for 36, 37 years, we got a ton of DJs in here that age.
Right.
We got DJs in here that has been in the game as young as 2 years, you know, but
Right.
that span, just knowing that we all love the culture and we believe in the true hip hop culture, and that
Right.
it's not dead. So that was
It's,
really, really profound when you
it's
said
not.
that.
It's not.
So that was really good. I know a lot of the DJs probably want to answer some questions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the floor up, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call the DJ's name. If they, you know, got something, they'll come on, and if not, we'll just keep moving so that we can make sure that we are conscious of your time and go from there.
Okay.
But we'll do that. DJ Genius, you got any questions?
First, I want to say salute, man, for being a pillar of hip hop. You know what I mean? Your whole body of work. I want to take you back in time for a minute. I actually met you on the shooting of Self-Destruction. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow,
With my
that's a
family.
while ago.
And yeah, and in light of that, of the current situation that's right now, take me through your mindset on when you all were actually working on Self-Destruction and how pivotal it was then, and how pivotal that record still is to current, you know what I'm saying, the current state of things.
All right, let me work backwards. So working backwards, which means work from now and going back.
Right.
I'm working on Self-Destruction 2 now. So I'm doing that. It's not Chris, it's me this time. I've just enlisted the production talent of DJ Premier, Marley Marl, Large Professor, Pete Rock, Easy Mo B, Trampin' KG is doing some stuff. Rockwilder's giving me some stuff. I'm probably gonna work with a few other big name producers in that, but I got those guys working on some stuff right now. You know, we starting to talk to MCs, and you know, the MC list is nice and dope and all of that. So you know, because we feel like it's a you know, we feel it's pertinent. I think it's some things that need to be said. So definitely working on that. In addition to the Night Train group with Speech and Chuck. Um, Self-Destruction 1 was Chris's brainchild, and we were just there. But one of the things that I will say real quick is, you know, we were all unified in a certain kind of way, right? So it was easy. It was easy for Chris to call us and say, come on and do this, because he was already doing, like, shouting us out in records. If you listen to I'm Still Number One, Stetsasonic is down with, you know what I mean? Like, so he was already kind of shouting us out, and we were doing that all the way across the board. That's a hip hop thing. You know what I'm saying? If you hear old Melly Mel tapes or old flash tapes and stuff, you see, you'll hear Furious on the mic, but then they'll say Grandmaster Caz is in the house, and you know, whatever, you know what I mean? So that's just a hip hop tradition to shout out other people. Chris already had a movement going which stopped the violence, and then you know, we had an unfortunate incident to go down, which was a young brother got killed at Nassau Coliseum at one of our concerts.
Right.
And so we all kind of came together and put that together. So, you know, it was just, you know, it was ideologically right. We wanted to speak about it. It's the same way I feel about doing Self-Destruction 2, although my mindset is different because, you know, I'm working with the young people, and we're working with different issues. Then we was just talking about violence. Now we're talking about, you know, human trafficking and the opioid crisis and the high levels of suicide in hip hop. And so we're gonna attack some of those issues. But, you know, it's just an issue of I always call it like it's what you see on the subways. It's see something, say something. That's what hip hop had been to us, and I never been any different than that. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been about that to me. You know, see something, say something. You know, we made Africa because of that. I made Freedom of Death because Sonny Carson asked me to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is for us. So of course, and the other thing with Self-Destruction One that I love about it, it's kind of like a little you know brag is Stetsasonic owns more real estate on that record than anybody else. Mike's at the top, me and Wise is in the middle, and then Fuquan comes on right after Heavy D. So it's more of us on that record than anybody else.
Cool beans. DJ
Yeah,
Rod Flash. Oh, I'm sorry.
I had one more thing about the Self-Destruction. It was rumored that Big Daddy Kane was actually supposed to have been featured
Kane's
on
in the video. If you look,
Self-Destruction. Yeah, he's in the video, but he didn't have a verse.
Yeah, Kane, no, but you listen, but think about Self-Destruction One. Your three iconic MCs are not on Self-Destruction One. Kane's not on, LL's not on it, and Rakim's not on.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you might even want to call them the three best sometimes, you know what I mean? Like wasn't on it. So that was an interesting little switch right there.
Yeah.
DJ Rod Flash. I'm sorry.
Say that again?
No, I was gonna say that one of my favorite records, verses on that record is pivotal. That's why I even asked the question. Salute for making that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
G.
Hold on, G. Can you hear us?
Hold on 1 second. Hold on, I lost sound because me inside, and that I hear now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one of my favorite records, Stetsasonic, has always been one of my favorite groups, and y'all verses on Self-Destruction are definitely pivotal. Salute to you, man. If I had a whole lot of time, I'd have a million questions, but I'm not gonna be greedy.
What I was gonna ask, is I could probably do one more question, man. But if you wanna continue this on later, we could do that.
Man. Okay. Yeah, I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up later, and we can chop it up. I definitely appreciate that. Salute again, man.
Thank you, sir. I'll take one more, bro.
Gotcha. So, who wants to handle that? Who wants to ask that question? Rock Flash, you want or Joe or?
I seen something in the chat, so I think it should be Rodri. That's why I said.
Yeah.
I'm checking the chat out.
Yeah,
people got questions in the chat.
Gotcha. We got DJ Robbery, and he said, have you used any 80s technology on your new stuff? And
nope. It took me a long time. It took me a very long time to convert to digital because I was very, very stubborn. But once I moved over, nah. I mean, sounds, yeah. I'll use a ton of sonics from the beginning, you know what I mean? Whether it be a breakbeat sound, whether it be a sound from an old drum machine or keyboard, I'll do all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, man, I can I don't know. I'm gonna probably be in this because I got another appointment. I'm gonna probably be in here for a couple of hours. But whenever you want to do this again, man, we could do it again.
Okay, for sure. We really appreciate that, man. And I one of the things I wanted to share also is about the fact with Stetsasonic through that whole WBLS thing. You guys won that contest,
right?
Just all of that. So, but we really appreciate you, man. And it's good to see you.
Yeah, man. And I'm sorry about the shortness of the time. So that's why I said, man, I don't mind. I mean, it's digital and all that, so we could definitely do this again.
Yeah. I'll definitely reach back out to you, and we'll have a part 2.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Go from there for sure, man. But I really appreciate you, and you be safe out there, man.
Okay, I will.
And take care of yourself, and we salute you, bro.
Salute you too, bro.
All right now. All right. So
you can start recording now.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.